fundamentally and technically how they look? Because we talked about fundamentals in our last video, so we have to discuss how they look fundamentally and technically and why.
Technically, everybody knows how it looks. They are
Mhm.
breaking out. But what is fueling that move is what you will get to know from the fundamentals, right? So we will take one stock every week and we'll just go over on a very high level on what it looks like. Then definitely this is just like 20% of what the research you should be doing. It's more about getting to know the company, getting to know the industry, and that that
Mhm.
can that can happen only when you listen to their conference calls, when you listen to their management interviews and all those things, right? So we picked up Zen Technologies from 2023, and the move it made uh, in 2023 was like Zen Technologies.
Uh, India wala.
And so this is 2023, starting this period, right? Coming out of a very, very large base.
Uh, सबसे पहले ये हमारे स्कैन्स में कब आता अकॉर्डिंग टू यू?
So if you're scanning near 52-week high, right? Uh, it would easily come in that sector, in that scan. That's number one. And let's say even if you don't find it here, right? You'll definitely find it in this consolidation. And in this consolidation, it will come into your percentage 52-week high. It will come into your 90 plus RS rating. It will come in your group rank filter. So by this time, it would definitely be among the top 2 3 groups, right? So it's impossible for a stock to make this kind of move and not appear in your 90 plus RS filter, not appear on your 52-week high filter, right? 15% to 20%. So that's why I insist that have a fixed input. Only then you will get a fixed output. If you keep tweaking your filters here and there, right, you will not get a consistent output, and you are bound to miss something like this. So just stick to one filter. Stocks greater than stocks near their 20% from their 52 weeks high, and add some liquidity filter. That's all. That's all
Uh,
you need to have. uh,
what we
yeah,
use in the scan is in the description, and you can check out that.
yeah.
Check that out.
So you have, don't stress over this period. This is when most of the people would have missed this stock. Over here, if you see, it wouldn't even be somewhere in the 70s or 80s of the RS, right? It can't be more than that. Even if you miss this move, that's fine. You would have what, probably on from this breakout you missed what, like 60%. But then if you are able to capture this move, that's 178%, right? So
And this proves कि जो चला है वही वापस चलेगा. ये 50% चला और ऑल टाइम हाई के बाद उल्टा और ज्यादा ब्रेकआउट से.
correct. And you see the earnings per share here. This is what is fueling this growth. Now, as you see over here, this 500%, 500%, 130%, 200%, it's fueling this move. But as you are near the top, you see it's starting to deaccelerate, and then you have this one final acceleration, which you can call it as blowout move. And then you see the next cycle, it's 39%. So basically what happens is, over here, the analysts, they are raising their target, they are raising the expectation, and at one point the expectation becomes so big that the company's performance or the growth cannot really match those expectations, and that is where the deceleration happens. That is where the fundamental guys, the PE guys, will say uh, this is overvalued. It's trading at 1000 PE or whatever bullshit they talk about. Uh,
And technical guys will see a climax move.
Technical guys will see a climax move, correct? But the point is, this is the cycle that you'll see everywhere. You can take any name whatsoever, it will follow the same structure.
Mhm.
The EPS is accelerating, 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 at then it will come there will come point, sorry, there will come a point jahan pe that acceleration has to slow down. That's the nature of it. The company cannot grow at a certain level for years and years together. It has to stop, and this is where the valuation again, starts to look good. This is where the value guys will start to invest, that okay, this is fundamental, darling. Now over here they'll be like, okay, it is really finally valued. They would start buying here, and EPS is just going for a toss. But then again, the same cycle will follow. It will go up here. The earnings will start accelerating once again based on the company's order book, based on their company's revenue, their PAT, and everything else, and it will go from here till, let's say, 10,000, and then value guys will start screaming about how overvalued this is, and then the deceleration starts to happen, right? So if I were to show you the fundamentally what it did, you see, so where are we? This is January 23, right? So January 23 means somewhere in this quarter we would have seen the result of Q3 2022, right?
एक मिनट आपको डेट बता भी देता
नहीं ठीक है, you get this here, right? So Q3 2022, December 2022, you see there is a jump of 9400% in the EPS. There is a jump of 167% in sales, and then you see the sales figure. Sales is what drives the EPS. EPS basically talks about how well the management is utilizing that funds, right? And you can tinker with any of these things. So you can have high EPS on a slow sales. How you can do that? Let's say you cut down your expenses, right? So even if your sales is growing in single digit,
हूँ.
you can have EPS growing on triple digits, but that's not a healthy sign, right? What you want to
Even
say is, हाँ, बोलो.
even other income को बढ़ा.
Chalo, other income again it varies company to company, because a lot of times they class, so if they have multiple subsidiaries, they qualify their income as in the consolidated report, they classify that income as other income. So that is subjective, I won't get into that. But the point is, you would want to see an acceleration in both sales and EPS together, and that acceleration is also reflected in the EBITDA margin, right? Uh, you can have high,
So
you can have one
Mhm.
second. So you can have high sales, you can have very poor EPS if the company is just burning the money, right? For example, something like, let's say, Swiggy or something.
Zomato,
Yeah,
Swiggy.
they will be having higher and higher revenue, but their EPS is going to be very poor because they are just burning the money, right? So it's very easy to tweak any of these numbers. What you should do is look at them together, and this acceleration, this growth should also reflect in their EBITDA margin. So if you see, this is just like a crazy acceleration, right? 30%, 167%, 364%, 300%, 200%, 198%. You see this this kind of growth in EPS for what, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, close to 6 quarters, right? Now, if we look back into the EBITDA margin, from June 2022, we were talking about December 2022, right? From June 2022, the company started to, you know, have a turnaround from negative EBITDA to positive 4,000%, 500%, 750%, 1,500%, 400. This is what a model book stock looks like. This is the kind of fundamentals you would want to see in the stock that you are purchasing, that you're trying to buy and hold, right? I'm not this is not for those people who just buy technical swing traders. You guys are awesome, you guys rock. This is for those geeks, those nerds who want to have certain convictions, some sort of reason.
with the
The
heavy position size जिसको खेलना है.
ha the wind on their back, right? So and those who want to hold it for like couple of months to couple of cycles, this is what you should insist on seeing as a number for the fundamentals for any company, right? And this is not just one off. You will see multiple of these. We'll go through multiple of these examples. Maybe not as extreme as this. This is absolutely crazy sort of fundamentals that you saw as a growth acceleration for this company. But anything about 20% quarter on quarter in terms of the sales growth is good to have. It's very good. Anything about 30 40%, 40% or above quarter on quarter in terms of the EPS growth is extremely good. uh, EBITDA
Year on
margin,
year, no?
I mean, so
Quarter
so
on
so
quarter
so
या
sorry,
year.
so the comparison, I tend to prefer the comparison year on year. But what I meant to say was, like, if you see this comparison, this is year on year numbers. So what I meant to say is September 2022 as against of September 2021, December 2022 as against of December 2021. So you see this acceleration quarter on quarter. What I meant quarter on quarter was this September 22, December 22, March 23, June 23, right? This acceleration, the continuous 2 3 quarters of acceleration is what you tend to see now.
And would you call that a deceleration after March 23 जो हुआ?
So March 23, no, this is not deceleration. This
No,
is
on the sales side.
no. So March 23 to 364%. See,
The next one is
no, no, no. You
Mhm.
don't call this as a deceleration. The deceleration, what you see is, so these are gigantic numbers. These are unrealistic numbers, right? You can't say कि 167% से 364% गया and then it dropped to 299%. So this is a deceleration. Now this is not a deceleration. Deceleration, what you should see is over a couple of quarters. So from here, 167, 364, 299, 203, 198. Now you see it's starting to deaccelerate from triple digit to almost like by 50%, right? 198 to
okay, okay.
suddenly 83,
Mhm.
92. Then you have this one of the quarters in between, just maybe something would have happened here in terms of the order book, whatever could have happened. And then you see you starting to see 44%, then another one off, and then 56%, this. Now, what you should see is, again, like I said, just combine it together. A deceleration of 50%, but you see a deceleration of close to about 60 70% in EPS, right? So this is where, and this by any means doesn't mean that the stock will stop moving. It's just an indication is that, maybe we are peaking the fundamentals for that cycle. We are very close to peaking the fundamentals for that cycle. Maybe another 2 3 quarters, and the wind should slow down, right? For example, if I were to show you BSC, right? uh,
Hotel है.
you see BSC, right? BSC का देखो, ये एक्सेलरेशन देखो, यहाँ पे आपका आराम से 129, 70%, 72%. Now this you can call it as deceleration because it's almost 50%, but you see the EPS here, right? So when you together combine these two values, you can't say ki it's deaccelerated. You
Mhm.
This is one of the quarters in between, but you see again the next quarter it jumped back to 67%, and EPS again jumped back by another, let's say, 40-50%. Again acceleration. This is what uh, you know this is again one of those model book stocks, BSC, and this is what you should always insist on having in terms of the fundamentals for the company that you are trying to invest into, right? Again, another very good thing to look at is annual EPS. So annual EPS, if you see steady growth, that is a very good indication. So you see 2023 is when the turnaround started to happen, right? December 2023, if you qualify this as or let's take June 2023. So 5% to 18.7%. That's huge. That's like a huge sort of growth.
Mhm.
18 to 30%, 31 to 18 to 31, 31 to 60, 60 to 76, 76 to 93. Now if you start comparing this, this is where you see that okay, slight de acceleration is happening. 18 to 31 is uh, huge growth.
Almost double.
Yeah, 70-80%. 31 to 60, it is actually double. Now 60 to 76 is 16, it's about
Nice.
25% growth. 76 to 93, if you see, it is happening again, that 20-25% growth. And it is very obvious the market cap has become such a big, it has become so big that it
Happy.
cannot, it cannot follow the same growth trajectory, right? So this is where we focus on mid caps, small caps, which can have this sort of phase of 3-4 months, 3-4 quarters, where they can give us that 150, 200%. So if you see from this date until 2024, we were saying that it's peaking, right? From this till this, the stock has gone almost 900%. Sorry, 1000%, right? 1000% in a matter of what, 1.5 years? No,
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah,
little,
20.
little over 1.5 years. 1 year, maybe 9 months or so. Uh, no, March 23 to Jan 25. Huh. 1 year, 1 year 9 months or so. 1 year 9 months or so. 1000%. Now we are not claiming that we are going to capture the
नहीं कर
gap.
पाएंगे इतना.
There is no way, and we don't even need to, right? If we can just capture just this move, this is a 40% move, a,
Mhm.
a,
So
40,
account easily,
a 40%
even
move,
on. Mhm.
a
Sorry.
40% move, and this cycle a 50% move, a 40% move, even on an average of 20% weight, 20% size, is like moving my
8%.
portfolio to buy 7-8%, 7-8% here, 7-8% here. One stock in a matter of what, May 23 till, let's say, this day, August 23, May, June, July, August, 4 months, and one stock has moved your portfolio by 15%. That is so that is what we are gunning
Aiming.
for. That is what we want to achieve. So it's not that we are saying we are going to get the top, get the bottom. No, no. We just want the piece of it here, maybe some piece of it from, let's say, here till here. Maybe we can get some piece here to here, but get chopped out a couple of times. But yeah, so, and there is only one way you will be able to track this stock for such a long time, it's when you are tracking the fundamentals, right? Otherwise, from here, it you will capture this move, but it will slip out of your radar from here onwards, and then you will see, then you will find it again sometime here, right? So a simple a simple if you just want to have a very simple filter criteria, just go with just have two sort of mm, fundamental filter. One is sales sales growth. uh, Insist on having more than 15% so that you don't miss out on a number that is beginning to turn. 15% for last 2 quarters, current quarter and a quarter before, greater than 15%. And in terms of the EPS, you should always ask for more than 25%, right? Uh, because so for example, if you put here as 40 and 40, right? You would have missed in this scan here, right? So we, and this can happen very frequently, that 1 quarter of a bad earnings, or not even bad earnings, of a slowed down earnings shouldn't kick the stock out of your radar. So keep it slightly on a lower range so that you can see a number of stocks, and then you add RS filter on top of it, and you will find the leading stock, the leader for that cycle.
Uh, so if we scan for 15% sales and 25% earnings, what are the numbers
Don't
we would have in a list?
don't put it together in the same filter. Keep
Okay.
Make two filters. One is sales filter, one is EPS filter. Sales filter 15% this quarter, 15% a quarter before or higher. That's one filter. The second filter is 25%, 25% for EPS, and that's it. Add on top your if you
Why
want.
not together? Basically,
See,
we
together mein what can happen is, uh, like I said, right? If here, if you see, let's assume this was, let's assume we have a filter of 30% or 40%, right? So this would meet the criteria of sales, but this will not appear in the list because of this rejection here. You see what I'm trying to say?
Mhm.
Acha, let's take this as a perfect example. You have a sales growth of 186% here, but if you combine EPS in the same one, it will not appear on your list because of this negative 66%.
Mhm.
So do you really want to lose sight of a stock because of this? Now, this EPS could be for whatever reasons. They could have just uh, uh, one of the time they are asked to pay something extra, or they have made some sort of investment. Could be literally anything. That's why you have to give the benefit of doubt, and just have these two separated so that they don't reject each other, uh, uh, based on whatever parameters. Now, it can happen that this is growing at
Mhm.
some 300, 400%, but the sales this quarter has reduced, or the realization of the sales has dipped compared to same quarter previous year, right? So that is why this is a good practice to maintain, that you keep. And logically speaking, you will find a 70% to 80% overlap. It's just those 20-30% of edge cases that we want to avoid missing out. That's all.
इन चार्ट्स में क्या फायदा है कि यू कैन कंबाइन दी स्कैन, मतलब यू कैन रन दीज टू स्कैन सेपरेटली एंड रिमूव द ओवरलैप बेसिकली, कि अगर कोई एक नाम है जो दोनों में है, तो अगर आप दो स्कैन साथ में रन करोगे और कंडीशन लगा के, सो इट विल मतलब रिड्यूस द नंबर, और ओवरलैप भी अपने आप हट जाएगा.
करना क्यों है भाई? So if you are doing this kind of filter, that means you are trying to get the best of the best stocks, right? Now, what what it does is you are looking the same stock twice.
Mm-hmm.
You are printing that stock back in your memory कि अच्छा something is happening with this stock. दो बार देख लो यार कितना टाइम लगेगा, 50-60 स्टॉक्स आएंगे
Mm-hmm.
ज्यादा से ज्यादा, 50-60 स्टॉक्स में से 70% ओवरलैप रहेगा तो 40 स्टॉक्स तुमको सेम सेम मिलेंगे। 40 स्टॉक्स को दो बार देख लिया कितना टाइम जाएगा, मैक्सिमम 20 मिनट्स, मैक्सिमम बोल
ये
रहा हूँ, नॉट मोर देन 10
ये
मिनट्स।
ये लर्निंग रही मेरे लिए भी।
भाई एक ही स्टॉक को बार बार देखो एंड देन यू सी व्हाट हैपेंस मैजिकली टू योर ब्रेन।
एंड टू से कि टू जज अ कंपनी फंडामेंटली वी शुड एटलीस्ट वेट फॉर सम क्वार्टर्स, जैसे बीच में -66 आ गया, शुड वी मींस
सो
शुड वी वेट, और इज देयर एनी कंडीशन कि इतने क्वार्टर तक मैं वेट करूंगा या कुछ ऐसा?
like I said, this is just 20%. Go get on a con call, find out the reason of why it is minus 66%, because like you there will be many analysts curious to know what is happening, why it's happening. They would be asking all sort of questions to the management. Listen to that, you'll have your answer, you'll know what's the trend going to look like. See,
And I think
there is no
even
there is no escaping the hard work. Okay, you have to do the hard work. Just looking at these numbers, if you think you have found a magic elixir and you going to get stocks that go up 1,000%, 2,000% in a year and a half, it's not going to happen like that. No.
what you do is कि 15% से 15% sales and 25% EPS, EPS or earnings.
EPS basically same. It's the same thing. Earning per share.
Because EPS gets diluted, means affected by splits or
वो
the bonus.
it gets taken care, उसका इतना bonus इतना बड़ा नहीं होता कि it's going to matter much. It's hardly
ठीक है,
certain percent of the earnings.
ठीक है.
So 15% for 2 quarters, I said, not just 1 quarter. So
15% sales for 2 quarters.
yeah, 15%. So you want to see this consistency, that 34% here, 29% here.
And
That
even earnings
even
for
earnings,
two
yes,
quarters. ठीक है.
yes, yes. So that is when you will see कि it's not going to be one off. You don't want to be in this stock at this point यहाँ पे or at this point यहाँ पे, ठीक है? You, like I said, right, you're not there to capture all the move. यहाँ पे 4% है, यहाँ पे 34% है. Okay, fine. Now this here should catch your attention that something is happening, and this is when I would start researching about the company कि अच्छा ठीक है, what is going to happen. And when something like this happens, I would know कि अच्छा ठीक है, it's going to be consistent from here onwards, right?
Even means even if it is way below 52-week high or
नहीं, 52 week high is वो तो general criteria है, right?
ठीक है.
So
So means no,
इसके ऊपर देखो
none
कि
of.
so uh, so basic filter, let's call it this way. This fundamental filters is for your universe list, ठीक है? 30, 40, 50 stocks. On top of that, you add 52 week high. On top of that, you add RS. On top of that, you add your group rank, right? These three filters sit on top of these fundamental filters, and that prepares your watch list.
So again, should we combine fundamental and technical filters, or should we scan for them separately?
Up to you. Up to you. How many charts you want to see on a weekly basis? How many charts you want to scan?
And this जो 15% sales, और ये तो anyways सिर्फ एक earning season के टाइम ही काम देते हैं. After that the list remains same.
Exactly. So मैंने वही बोला था ना, your universe shouldn't change. Your universe should always be like 70
For a
80%
quarter.
70 80% fixed, जहाँ पे things are not shuffling around much. Watch list is something where you will see in and out based on RS filter, based on group rank filter, based on your 52-week high filter. For example, uh, some stocks from your universe list now they are starting to appear within the 20% from their 52-week high. So they will now come into your watch list, right? So like that. Technical is to support the fundamentals.
So वही कि what to buy is fundamentals and when to buy is technicals.
Always win this.
ठीक है. कंटिन्यू करते हैं इस पे 10
Right? So anything else for today, or are we done?
Just one question.
Catches?
Just one question. वही कि when you start doing technicals, you lose the fundamental aspect. So वो वापस कैसे लाएं?
यार 15-20 मिनट से वही तो बात कर रहे हैं. See,
नहीं आई मीन कि मतलब जैसे आपने नंबर्स देख लिया, जो अगर आप जस्ट फंडामेंटल्स कर रहे होते हो तो आपका रिसर्च पार्ट बहुत स्ट्रांग होता है, एंड टेक्निकल्स के बाद वो रिसर्च पार्ट चला जाता है, मतलब यू हैबिट नहीं रहती बेसिकली.
see, so again, like I said, it depends from person to person. I am somebody who doesn't like to have a lot of churn, a lot of turnaround. I want to stick to stock for a good growth cycle of 3-4 quarters of theirs, right? For that, I need to know about the company. And my personality, I'm sort of very lazy. That's why in the beginning I said I didn't track any other sector other than power transmission and distribution, and I want to stick to that, right? That is coming purely from the laziness as a personality, right? If somebody who can scan every day, uh, let's say just 10% from 52-week, or let's say just 5% from 52-week, and they are not worried about churn, they're not worried about their portfolio, they want to just capture 3-4 hours. They want to just go with 10% size, 15% size. I mean, you can go with any size you want in the single buy, but generally speaking, uh, one buy 10-15% se zyada if you do, then you lose your mathematical edge. Jahan pe 15%, let's say a 4% risk is 0.6, 0.7% impact on your portfolio, right? So the ideal way to do is split your size into multiple buys. That's how I like to do it. If I want to build 30% size, I would probably want to have 2 to 3 buy points. For that, I need to start buying the stock when they are consolidating. For that, I need to know why I should buy this stock. Uh, is it likely to go up? For that, I need to know about the company, about the sector. For that, I need to know my fundamentals of the company, and for that, the research is required. If you are somebody who is just going to, let's say, Loris Labs, right? If you are somebody who is just going to see, okay, I see this pivot here, I see this pivot here, and I'm going to buy. That's fine too. Um, for that, you don't need to do that research, right? So again, to do or not to do the fundamental research is sort of depends on you as a person and nothing else.
That's it for this week.
All right, I think we had a good session. We'll continue on
Definitely,
this.
बहुत अच्छा.
We'll continue on this fundamental model book, and you will see so many examples that you'll be amazed that this is kind of the magic elixir, but this is just the 20% of it. Actual research is what you need to do. Post you have discovered some stocks that are showing this kind of growth, right? The actual research comes from listening to them, learning about their business.
So in the last video, what I did was आपने बताया कि TD Power and Aether Energy one of the best calls जिनकी होती है, तो what I have done is कि उन दोनों की
CarTrade is also one of those stocks.
So I'll
इनकी इनकी अर्निंग बहुत सॉरी इनका कॉन्फ्रेंस कॉल इनका मैनेजमेंट का बहुत अच्छा डिस्कशन होता है.
सो व्हाट आई विल डू इज कि इस बार इसका भी, पिछली बार मैंने टीडी पावर और एथर एनर्जी का लिंक कर दिया था नीचे डिस्क्रिप्शन में. सो व्हाट आई विल डू इज कि इस बार कार्ट्रेड एंड जेनटेक का, जेनटेक का नहीं सॉरी, जेनटेक का पुराना कौन कॉल,
I think it will be difficult to get.
नहीं ठीक है मिल जाएगा उसमें, तो मैं लिंक कर दूंगा. और
Start with March 2023 for Zen Tech.
ठीक है. एंड Q&A फॉर्म इज इन द डिस्क्रिप्शन. कुछ भी क्वेश्चन हो यू कैन आस्क. यही है, कुछ भी चाहिए हो, कुछ भी फीडबैक हो हमारे लिए, तो वो कमेंट्स में, और नेक्स्ट क्या डिस्कस कर सकते हैं वो भी, उसके आइडियाज भी हमें दें. फॉर द नेक्स्ट 2 वीक्स हम प्लान तो यही कर रहे हैं कि विनर्स को डिस्कस करेंगे.
Fundamentally, most likely, yeah.
फंडामेंटली मोस्टली, फंडामेंटल साइड, टेक्निकल साइड.
टेक्निकल साइड तो सबको पता है यार. सब जानते हैं टेक्निकल, सब मास्टर हैं.
ठीक है,
ठीक है.
डन फॉर दिस
Okay.
वीक. एंड